Wylder is the mobile DPS tank hybrid class of Nightreign, and today we're going to talk about the best way to play him. Wylder is the best beginner class because he gets good HP, he has really strong skills that are easy to use, and he can use almost any weapon in the game. This means that Wylder is your best choice when you're just starting out learning the game, and playing him will make your experience way easier. And we're going to talk about how his skills work, how his stats work, what weapons you should be using, and general tips and tricks so you can get the best out of him. His passive is called Sixth Sense, which is probably the best in the game. You can tell it's active by having this mark under your HP bar, and every time it's active, any damage you take that would kill you, you're going to take a step back and dodge that damage and live. This is amazing for beginners because you're going to be dying a lot while you're learning all the new bosses of Nightreign. This will reset every day, and also whenever you visit a site of grace, it will also reset. So as Wylder, you always want to be running through a site of grace whenever you don't have this passive up. Even if you can't level up, at least you can get your extra life back. This passive lets you play super aggressive because after every objective, generally there's going to be a site of grace, so you can get the passive back. This is going to allow you to get more done each day. Now Wylder's first ability is called Clawshot. If it's a big enemy, you're going to pull yourself to the enemy. If it's a small enemy, you're going to pull them to you, and you can also use it on the ground. You can also get a relic to buff it up that allows you to follow up with a greatsword attack. We're going to talk about that more in the relic section. Now, while this looks really cool and does extra damage, there's a mistake people are making with this, and we're going to talk about that later on. Clawshot is also amazing for mobility, making Wylder the most mobile class in the game. As you're sprinting through the map, you can use it on the ground and then jump at the end, which will give you this animation, which moves you really quick through the map. So you can do something else and still catch up to your teammates. Hook Claw is the bread and butter of Wylder, and the Great Sword Relic just takes you to the next level. Having the ability to close the distance on the enemy without using any stamina is what sets Wylder apart from all the other melee classes. Most bosses in Nightreign are really mobile, and melee classes struggle to actually catch up to the boss and then do damage because they have no stamina left over, but Wylder doesn't have that problem. You can also pull shield enemies to you, making it way easier to deal with them than other classes. Overall, this is one of the best abilities in the game because it solves the big problem of actually getting to the boss before you can hit them. His ultimate is called Onslaught Stake, and there's two ways you can use it. If you just tap it, you'll do a small AoE explosion, and it'll use about 70% of your ultimate bar, so then you'll still have 30% left over. While you're using the ultimate, you will have invincibility frames. You can also charge this up to do more damage and have a bigger AoE, and it does more stance damage, and you still have invincibility frames for the whole animation. This ultimate is amazing for getting stance break on bosses. You can start the fight off with a hook shot into your greatsword passive and then use your ultimate, and that will almost knock down most small enemies, and then you can get them with the riposte. Stance breaking in Elden Ring is super important because it allows your whole team to just go to town on the boss. And unlike Elden Ring, your teammates can still hit the boss while you're doing the riposte, giving you lots of free damage. So overall, as Wylder, you have good HP, you have good stamina, and you have the ability to pick up most weapons in the game and use them effectively. Which means if you like build variety, this class is really good, because other classes like Recluse or Arnai mostly have to use the same builds every time. Whereas with Wylder, you can use most weapons in the game. Now, a mistake that most people are making is just sticking to greatswords because of the relics that they have. Now, while the greatsword relic is really fun and it's really amazing, that doesn't mean you should only use greatswords all the time. The fire buff only applies a 12 flat damage to your weapon. Now when you're level 1 and your weapon is doing 60 damage, 12 is a lot. That's like 20% extra damage, which is huge. But when you're at the end of the run and your weapon is doing 200 plus damage, 12 damage is less than 5%. It's not gonna make a huge difference. And while I also like the moveset, that doesn't mean you give up a better weapon just to use your greatsword all the time. So if you see a better weapon than your greatsword, be sure to pick it up. If you're not using other weapons, you're giving up one of the best things about Wylder. Now the weapons you have, you want to be focusing on statuses like Scarlet Rot, you want to get Frostbite, and you want to get Bleed. Now you want to focus on statuses, so that way even if the boss is far away from you, they're still taking damage all the time, making the fight go way faster. Now for most melee class in Elden Ring, you want to be focusing on survivability, because if you're dead, you're not doing any damage. So what I see a lot of people doing is just building full damage, and then they go to a boss and they get one shot because they don't have any survivability. If you focus more on survivability, you will do a lot more damage because you're not getting downed and your teammates are not wasting their time picking you up. In the team composition and final thoughts section, we'll talk about how you build him depending on what team you have. When it comes to weapons and powers, you should be using anything that gives you more survivability, like HP restorations upon successive attack is going to be amazing. Powers such as more HP restored with each flask is going to give you more survivability. And now while you see me using dual wield a lot in the video, you only use that if you have abundance of stamina. You don't want to use that all the time because it leaves you open to boss attacks. The power stance greatsword swings are really slow, and you don't want to be overly reliant on them because if you take too many hits, you're going to go down. Just focus on survivability all the time. Anything that's going to give you more affinity damage negation or physical damage negation is going to be amazing. Raising your maximum HP so you can take more hits is amazing. If you're going to face a final boss that's going to give you lots of status effects, you want to get the all resistances up. This is really going to help you out. So the whole time you're playing, you're building for the final night boss. You're not worrying about day 1 or day 2. Look at the final boss, see how you can more effectively fight them, and pick that. Next, we're going to talk about what powers you can take. If you don't need that many defenses or if your team is full of tanks, then you can be a little bit more aggressive. Blood loss and invincibility is really good. You can apply it. Also, your teammates can apply it. If you have this, make sure you're using bleed weapons. Another power that's really good for offense and defense is going to be increased stamina or increased stamina regen. If you have more stamina, you can dodge roll more, which is defensive, and you can attack more, which is aggressive. So it helps you out on both sides. So if you have no defensive choices, you can still take stamina. It's going to help you out defensively while still giving you more damage later in the run. There's also relics that give you this bloodborne effect in the game that you can use, which makes your HP have a white bar whenever you get hit, and whenever you counter hit, it's going to restore some of that HP. Using this relic actually gives you a lot more survivability and damage because you don't have to focus on dodging all the time. You can take a hit and then go aggressive and get your HP back. Any relic like this that's going to give you attack and survivability at the same time makes Wylder way more amazing. Wylder excels at doing damage and being tanky at the same time, which is why he's so great for beginners. Also, if a good shield drops for you, use it. For talismans, you want to get like more HP restored, and you want to get like Urtree's favor, more stamina, more HP. Focus on getting more survivability and damage at the same time. Now, when it comes to his stats, he has an 8 in HP, which means if there's no Guardian or Raider on your team, you're going to be the tank. He gets a B in stamina, which overall is very good, and he gets an A in strength and a B in dexterity, means he can use most weapons. Now, when it comes to his relics, his first remembrance relic is the one that's going to give you that greatsword effect, which is very good. Another relic that's really important that if you get it, you're going to use it all the time is +1 skill to Clawshot. Having 2 Clawshots is amazing. For third slot, you can use like Knight of the Baron, going to give you more attack. You can use this Bloodborne relic that's going to give you Dex, Ultimate, and get the Bloodborne effect. If you're starting out, you don't have any other good relics, you can use the relic from the first boss, which is going to give you stamina regen as you're attacking, means you can attack a lot more, do a lot more damage. You can also use that stamina to dodge or roll out if you need to. You can use certain relics like this one that gives you more stance breaking, gives you more ultimate gauge, means you can down bosses more often. Stamina relics are also amazing. They give you more stamina and you also get more stamina regen. There's also this relic that you can get that gives your ultimate an AoE effect. I don't really have the slots to use it, but it's also good if you have the slots. Relics that give you more HP, gives you character cooldown, stuff like this is good. Now, like we talked about before, for Wylder, you can use pretty much any weapon in the game you want. You scale good with dexterity and strength. So Wylder has a lot of build variety. Now, ideally, if you can find an amazing greatsword, you want to use that because that's going to let you use your passive. So it's going to let you have your Kiga needed too. But that doesn't mean you forgo everything just for the greatsword. You can still use straight swords, you can use hammers, you can use great hammers. The strength of Wylder is you can use anything you find and do really well. The problem I had sometimes with other classes and runs is I just don't find any good weapons or you don't find any good spells, which just ruins the run. Wylder doesn't have that problem. Now we're going to talk about the team composition and how that affects what you should be doing each run. If you're in a run where there's no Raider or Guardian, you're going to go 100% tank every time. All the weapons you pick up and all the powers you pick up are going to be for damage negation. For example, you want to pick up weapons that give you damage negation at full HP or damage negation after successive attacks or damage negations at low HP. Because you're the only one that can take hits, you want to take all the hits because that means overall your whole team will do more damage and the run will go faster and you will succeed a lot more. For example, in this run I have Iron Eye and Duchess. and they have enough damage to pretty much complete this run. I don't need to be doing an insane amount of damage. Just simply being more defensive and taking the hits allows my team to be more free for them to do damage. If you're going to be playing just with random people, then most DPS classes, they're going to go full DPS. They're not going to take any defenses, which means a lot of the time they're going to get 1 or 2 shot by most bosses. When it comes to the final night boss, they all do lots of damage. So the DPS really don't want to get hit by them. So if you want to succeed as Wylder, you're going to want to change up your build depending on what team composition you have, and that's going to increase your win rate dramatically. I guarantee you that. Another little tip for you, Wylder gets the most HP going from level 1 to level 2, so every run make sure you get to level 2 first. Now we're going to be playing some final boss gameplay and talking about other team compositions that you can have. If there happens to be another raider on your team, then you can get half-half. You don't have to go full defense. You can get some skills that are going to give you more stance breaking, that are going to give you more damage. It's still okay because the raider has a lot of HP, so you can both tank. If you have a guardian on your team, you can go a little bit more offensive. You can go 60% offense, 40% defense. The guardian should be taking all the hits, so you're free to do a little bit more damage. Now if you don't feel comfortable doing that, it's still okay to just go full defense. That's still good. Here's a little tip for the final boss. Once you do enough holy damage, you'll get this AoE around him, and then you can hit him with your ultimate. And if you hit him with the ultimate right there, he's gonna get knocked down and you'll be able to riposte him, getting a lot of free damage. Now whenever the boss does a phase transition, you kind of want to run away from him a little bit. He's going to be doing an AoE on the ground, and if you stay right in the right spot, it won't hit you. Depending on what AoE is, it's a little bit different. You're going to have to learn each one. For example, this run, I'm full tank. I'm just focusing on knocking the boss down. I'm not worried too much about how much damage I'm doing. I'm just trying to get aggro on the boss and let my teammates do most of the damage. I'm just going to keep up aggro on the boss. I'm going to wait for another opportunity to use our ultimate to knock him down. And also because we have Executor on our team, we're using bleeds because he's using bleeds. And when he's doing the phase transition, if your rolling is good, you can dodge out of it as well. And as Wylder, you want to be keeping pressure up on the boss because you can use your hook shot to catch up to them all the time. Now when he does this AoE effect, essentially just run away from him a little bit and circle him, and you'll never get hit. You'll never take any damage. Super easy. Now once you hit him enough with the holy, he'll get that same status effect again like that, and you go in, use your ultimate, and he gets knocked down again every time. Most of the time it's just spent dodging his attack. So if you can knock him down like twice in a fight, it's gonna let you do a lot of free damage and make the fight go way easier. So overall, I think Wylder is the best beginner class in the game, and you should definitely pick it up. What do you guys think about Wylder? Let me know down below. Subscribe for more.